Hey guys, Noelle and Nova here for week 4 of our virtual trick challenge, which is going to be spin. Good girl. So turning 360 degrees in a circle. So I'm starting off with luring to get this behavior started. I've got a treat here. I'm going to put it right in front of her nose. Stand. Yes. Turn her towards her shoulder first, then towards the hip. Yes. When she finishes the complete circle, I'm going to mark in her reward. If your dog is a little bit nervous about having your arm over their back, or they're a little hesitant to start stepping those feet around, I can use something that's a little chewier so they can kind of nibble on it. I can also shape the behavior. So if we get to 3 o'clock, yes, thinking in terms of a clock, and she gets a little stuck, I can mark and reward there a few times. Then the next time I'm going to try and get her to like 6 o'clock, then 9, and then all the way back to 12. Dogs are handed like us, so Nova's favorite direction is clockwise. Counterclockwise is a little more challenging for her. So if you find that your dog is struggling more in one way than the other, that is perfectly normal, no big deal. You just may have to do a little bit of shaping on one side instead of just using the lure, or your dog may not really, seem to have a preference, which is, great. Work with what you got. So after I've done it, say 3 times, successfully completing the circle, I'm going to add in my verbal cue. So for us, clockwise is spin, counterclockwise is twist. I've heard people use rewind, reverse, whatever makes sense to you, just 2 different cues for the 2 different directions. So I've still got my lure. I'm going to cue first, spin, lure her around. Yes, mark and reward, okay? Say I've done that 3 more times. Now I'm going to almost fake her out a little bit. So my fingers still smell like treat, but I'm not going to actually hold the treat. I just look like I'm holding the treat. So I'm going to verbally cue, spin. Yes. She followed my hand still. Okay, mark and reward at the end. She was doing a little nibbling on there, seeing if there was a treat. Then I want to actually open the hand so she can see that there is no treat. So this is kind of the testing point. Does she really understand what I'm doing when I'm cueing her physically? So, right, spin. Good girl. Now, she obviously knows this one already. But I'm looking for the dog to start to immediately follow that hand, okay? If they don't immediately follow, just wait a second and see if they're gonna kind of cue in and start working with you. If they just kind of look at you like, I have no idea what you're trying to do here, you may need to put food back in that hand a couple more times, but we don't wanna hang on to that lure too long, okay? We wanna try and phase it out pretty quickly. So from there, I can just make my physical cue a little smaller. Good girl. Nova always follows physical better than she does verbal. Let's see if she'll do the verbal. Spin. Oh, that was pretty good. Good job. And then same thing the other way. Twist. Good girl. So I do have a much bigger cue, good girl, in that direction than I do for our spin. We just haven't spent that much time working on it. So for advancing this skill a little bit. So if you've done this already, I use this for coordination. So agility students, fitness students, in the agility ring, the dog is going to have to make tight turns. Whether they're coming around a jump or just turning from one obstacle to the next. So it's really helpful for them to know how to place those feet safely. So level 1, for those who already know this skill, can your dog go both directions? Can they respond to a verbal cue only? Can they respond to a physical cue only? And how small can you make your physical cue? Okay, so that's kind of you challenging and proofing that behavior. So your dog really, really understands what you're asking for, even if you're very, very subtle about it. Then the next challenge is going to be adding a prop into the mix. So an ottoman, a footstool, a box, something that your dog can step up onto with all 4 feet and then make that turn. You want it to be large enough, okay, at least at first, that they can easily make the turn. I want it to be something that is not slippery so they can get a little bit of traction on. I probably don't want it to be too high at first, so just a few inches off the ground. As they get more comfortable, you can go a little bit higher. And then I want to make sure it's on a safe surface. So I would not recommend setting it up on any sort of hard surface, because if they do lose their balance, I don't want them stepping down and slipping. Okay, so I would recommend setting it up on something like a carpeted area where they will have a little bit of traction as they, step off that object. The other thing you can try is in an object. So I've got Nova's bed here. We're going to try it with this. Spin. Yes, good girl. I can use a cardboard box, anything else that they can step into and have enough room to turn around in. That confined space will create additional challenge. Okay, they'll have to be a little bit more aware of where each of those feet are being placed to make the turn. you may also need to be a little more helpful in terms of giving your cues at first. So even if they've been doing this like a rock star, just on the regular floor, as soon as I introduce this other item, they may need a little more help to get started. And then you can just really quickly fade out that maybe you needed a lure or you needed a bigger movement, and just, you know, start moving back towards that subtle cue again. So post your videos, tag us. We'd love to see what you guys are up to, and I'll see you in another week. Bye guys.